on TV, then cry when we call it. We ain't taking orders, we make the audit. This ain't safe space rap, this is open season. Let's go. They can't close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. Yo, CNN crying, big tech spying. Career politicians still looting and lying. They sell the fear, we cut the wire. Cancel us, nah, we rise higher. Truth ain't dead, it's your shadow banned. But we bring receipts, they can't withstand. From the border to the bank, from the vote to the war, we expose every crack that they try to ignore. Jar Openers cracking open the lies, pulling back curtains with red-pilled eyes. Trust the science, but can't define a woman. Orange man bad, that's the whole damn sermon. Vote blue, stay poor, hate your flag, blame your race. Nah, miss us with the red. Close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight. They can't close the jar, we already broke the seal. Now the truth's out and it's looking real. Mic lit like a fuse and the beat's on blast. We don't kneel, we don't flinch, we don't move last. America first, no mask, no leash. We the voice in the static, the storm in the breach. It's the Jar Openers podcast, no chill, just heat. We don't do sheep, we don't repeat. They say stay quiet, we talk loud. Built for the storm, we don't back down. It's not just a show, it's a battlefront live. Every mic is a mission and we thrive in the fight.
What is up, everybody? It's been a while. Good to be back. Good to be back. CTNT in chat. What's up, dude? Sorry for the skipping the last couple shows, but you know what? I had a few things that I had to get done over the weekend while my wife was out of town, and then Monday I had to. What's up, Will's friend? I had to be on call to pick my wife up from the airport, and her flight was scheduled to get in about 5:50-ish. It was delayed. Her connecting flight was delayed. So I'm glad I gave myself that time, because I think I ended up getting back home after picking her up right around 7 o'clock, which would have been showtime. And then I would have had to jump on the show instead of hanging out with her, which I prefer hang out with her after her being away for a week. You know what I mean? I think you guys understand. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. And we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the government shutdown, of course. Just try to stay updated on all of that. Let's see here. We got the SNAP benefits, threatened to be halted here November 1st. There's people out there claiming that they're going to loot Walmart and everything like that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. This is pretty interesting. So breaking, the U.S. House Oversight Committee has deemed all of President Biden's executive actions null and void, which is including his pardons. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big. So we're going to delve into that one. Got quite a bit on that one. And we actually have an update as well in the Arctic frost story. Some new documents have been revealed, have been released or whatever, and there's a lot more people involved in it than originally reported, apparently. Harry Sisson is a hypocrite. We like making fun of that guy. Riley Gaines clowns AOC. And then the final story, if we get to it, is Trump is making manufacturing great again, which we've been kind of eyeballing that as well. We know that the tariffs that Trump has implemented has kind of promoted, is designed to promote manufacturing within the country and make our country a lot more self-reliant rather than being so dependent on other countries. We saw how during the pandemic, when we needed PPE, things like that, China decided that they needed it for themselves, and they were more important to them than the United States. And since we relied on China for the production of these things, we were SOL, right? We ended up having to change up some of our current manufacturing plants to make these things ourselves. Will Francis Hunter's pardon is the only one actually signed by Biden by his pappy. And that's the thing. It's the Autopen, the White House staff, and signed by an Autopen the executive actions that they're being challenged. But yeah, this is a good week. It's starting off for Trump and his administration and those that were wanting to hold Biden accountable. We also have some hypocrisy there with the Harry Sisson story. There's a lot of people on X you might have seen and on the social medias and everywhere talking about how Donald Trump had this MRI and they're demanding to know the results of the MRI, right? But these are the same people that were telling us that Biden was sharp as a tack, not demanding any transparency out of the Biden administration. So their pleas, in my opinion, fall on deaf ears. What's up, Bill? Yeah, Tyler on Tuesday. Yeah, I've been trying to add the Tuesday show into the mix. If you just got in here, I had to cancel my last two shows from Saturday and Monday. I started a big project here in the studio in my office here, and I had paint cans stacked behind me. You might notice the TV that was behind me for a while has been moved. Just living in Florida, you don't have a basement, and coming from a place, I lived in Kansas City, the Midwest, with a basement for 35 years. It's hard getting used to not having just this place where you can throw stuff, right? Throw boxes that you're not going to use. It's all you have to have either a spare bedroom or some type of climate controlled shed or garage or an actual paid storage unit, which we just signed up for one a couple months ago. So I've been gradually getting everything out of our fourth bedroom. We have our master bedroom, my wife's office, my office, and then we had one other bedroom that was supposed to be our guest bedroom, but it had collected the things that we don't need on a daily basis. And so I've been working on getting that cleaned out. And just while my wife was out of town, I wanted her to come home to, a better house than what she left. And so part of that process, I cleaned out this closet right here and got a bunch of stuff over into storage. But in the process, I had pulled, like I said, I put the paint cans back. But I had a bunch of empty boxes that came with stuff that I was like, I might need that box later on. I mean, big giant boxes. The one that came like my Blue Eddy, one that actually I have two Blue Eddies. If you guys are familiar with those, they're the battery powered, essentially generators where you can use like solar panels, or you can plug it into your wall and charge it up and have battery power later on. Down here in Florida, we get those hurricanes and stuff. But now I have the solar panels on the house and the big backup battery system. But I still have those other ones as kind of a secondary, backup essentially. And so I had big, giant, thick boxes. I was like, I don't want to throw this away back in the day when I got them. And so now I'm like, all right, get rid of these things. I didn't realize how much junk and just empty stuff I had in there. But yeah, all that was pulled out here, and now it's looking much better. My next step, I think, to the office is I'm going to rearrange the shape. I don't like how the window is right there. I actually have a shower curtain over it because it's thicker and it blocks the light. And during the day, when the bright light's coming through, it messes up all the lighting for like my recording and stuff like that. So I need to, I want to re-angle the desk and everything like that. Wolf friend says he has two Jacare V2s, 1000 watt and 2000 watt. Yeah, the Blue Eddy thing that I have, I started out with the little one that's like the size of like a computer tower, and it was good for like keeping your cell phone charged and like maybe one basic thing, but it wasn't strong enough amperage to run like a window AC unit. Because when I first got it, I was like, you know what, if I can just get a little backup battery system to run a window AC unit, charge it off of a few. I had 6 solar panels at the time. And if I could just get it to charge and run off of it, well, turns out once I got it, I could only use 3 solar panels to charge it because a fourth one would take it over the wattage and it would error, so it wouldn't charge because it was trying to put too much energy into it. So I was like, oh, let me get a bigger one. So I got another Blue Eddy one, and it's one of those like 2300s or something. And you can actually add like up to 6 extra battery packs to it. And I have one of those extra battery packs, and it is actually able to take the charge of those 6 solar panels, which I've now implemented into my main grid. But what I can do still is I can run a window unit off of it. The startup energy amperage requirement for the window unit still works, right? And so yeah, it's pretty cool. I like having that little thing as a backup. Although it's super super heavy, so it's not really very portable. Like when I was doing construction, it would have been a useful thing to keep in the truck to run like saws and charge batteries. Just anytime you're out mobile and it's hard to get power, it'd be an excellent thing to have. Most of the stuff I have now is just all battery powered, like Rigid Tools or DeWalt or whatever company. Your 22 quart fridge and freezer will last 8 days on it. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So anyways, back in action. Like I said, once again, some more people filed in. So I apologize for skipping the last couple shows. I basically used that time to just get off social media. You didn't see me in Discord. You didn't see me posting on X until this afternoon. Just kind of cleanse the palate. I listened to a few sermons on repeat. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Just trying to get in a better headspace for what I want to do to finish out the year. And also been pondering how I want to start the year out or get into that era. I got the Halloween theme. I'm just on the big screen right now. I'm not sharing my screen, so TNT says muted. Don't tell me I'm muted. Are you messing with me? Let me see. All right, you're messing with me. Okay. Well, I did notice that yeah, everyone needs downtime. Okay. I did notice that StreamYard had implemented a new chat thing. Check this out. So I can make it, this is the regular one, but I can make the writing bigger, which is cool. You can read the screen a little bit, but I can also change it to wide. That kind of goes over covers over my overlay here, but it displays more of your guys' chat, which is cool. I can also do tall, but that goes over my face. But anyways, that's pretty cool. I think I'll keep it on wide and big for now. But yeah, I'm at that place where I need to really double down my time. I've got a lot of the projects around the house completed. I need to double down my time to actually get this YouTube channel back producing, making me money. I'm feeling a little, what's the word? Certainly not depressed or anything like that, but maybe stressed out about what I'm doing with my time versus the return. And I'm not complaining or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out where I need to be next. Actually, I'm gonna go regular. I think that's better. Yeah, discouraged, I think, is the way. Since YouTube doesn't really do my channel any favors. I feel like I make my thumbnails well enough. I feel like the titles are pretty good. And I don't really even like blaming YouTube. I know that there's smaller channels out there getting plenty of run and all that type of stuff. And so I've been trying to decide, like, I mean, I hate to say this, but just be transparent with you guys since we're family. And, do I continue doing this? Do I just go back to making videos and cut the lives out? Do I minimize the lives to maybe 1 a week, 2 a week? Or do I just cut the whole thing completely and actually go back to like a career? There's things that I can use my expertise. I could go and be like pass the appraiser test and become an appraiser. There's a few things that, I have potential avenues of revenue. And then when I think about it and I say it out loud, it's like, well, I have this platform. I've worked nearly 3 years to build this channel up. All I really need to do is just focus my energy in the proper way and spend my time better focused on, making daily videos and stuff. Cause that's where the real, that's where my money actually was coming from. But I have more fun doing the live channel, doing the live show. So, Wells, for instance, I hope you can let us know about the Homestead channel. Yeah, it's just a small channel. It's got 56 subs. And lately I've just been posting updates to the, well, I've only posted like 1, I think, but when I refill the feeder, do stuff with the chickens, I haven't done that. That's the other thing. I don't want to be spread too thin. I need to like make sure that I stay focused. And so it's like, I need to get this one going back, earning money, and then expand from there, essentially. And then from there, maybe I can do top 5 reasons to get chickens, top 10 things to know before you get chickens. Why keep a rooster in your flock if you can? That type of stuff, videos, and share my experience and whatnot. But you're right. The homestead market is huge. And that's what my daughter would rather watch. She's like, you need to do more stuff with the animals. She tells me about these other channels that she likes to watch on YouTube. And just like, yeah, I know. I just, I would have to just completely change gears. And so I'm just, in that phase of discovery, trying to, make sure I set my long-term goals properly, like we all should have, and then execute on those long-term goals, short-term goals, long-term goals, all that type of stuff, right? So anyways, enough about myself. Oh, dang, that's crazy, Bill. The last live streamer AI followed? You mean you followed? Yeah. The last live streamer I followed had a heart attack on his live, Nightcop 35. Dang, I hope he's okay. Is he okay? It wasn't like a bad one, was it? Or I don't know. I hope the best for him. But yeah, that's crazy. And so, just I'm 44, and I want to make sure by the time I'm 50, I'm in a better place than I am right now, right? He's doing okay. That's good. That's good. And so anyways, like I said, enough about me. I appreciate y'all for sticking around while I do talk about that, but just want to be transparent with you guys. Like I said, we're a family. Let you know where my thoughts are, and sometimes it's just good to say the stuff out loud, right? I always talk about the say it out loud test, and just going through this with you guys live makes me think, yeah, I really just need to focus on this. This is what I've built, rather than trying to re-gear up for a completely new career, which I probably do fine at, but I have more fun doing this. What's up, Earl's daughter? Good to see you. Good to see you. See, oh yeah, I got it on a big chat. Okay. Trans communist. If you want, but that's really weird. Most people will just keep that stuff to themselves and do it or not, I guess. Can I goon to you? That's pretty messed up. There's probably better things that you could find. Oh, that's funny. All right. But make sure you subscribe, I guess, over there on Rumble. Wasn't expecting that question. All right, so let me share my screen and we'll get this thing going. That's really funny. Yeah, I need to do something to the background of it over chat. I'll keep that in mind for the overlay. I might have to get rid of little dude there getting his ankle grabbed. See him right there getting his ankle grabbed. They're trying to pull him under. All right, so we're gonna start off talking about the government shutdown. You'll be back in a bit. Okay, Ruth. And we'll start off this here. And I want to play this full 3.5 minutes for you of Speaker Mike Johnson. And then I want to point out what the Democrats are doing. And like, this is crazy. Like, X is still feeding me a bunch of Democrat stuff, which is it's okay because now I know a lot more about what they're saying and their tactics. But it's just so easily identifiable that I don't need to see it like on repeat like it is. But like, just for example, if you searched what it was trending, let me go and see what it was. Government shutdown. It's changed right there. Democrat senators, government shutdown type of stuff. House Oversight Committee, I think even. And some of it's kind of related and some of it overlays, but it's kind of separated in 3 stories. The House Oversight Committee is looking into Biden's Autopen, executive actions and whatnot. And then we have the government shutdown. And then we also have the snap angle of it. But if you looked up the government shutdown, the first thing that I saw actually just on my main page was not Gavin Newsom, but Gavin Newsom news. So I don't know if that's actually and I have it saved here. Talking about, let's see here. Am I jumping ahead? No, it's Democrat responses. Okay. Yeah, Governor Newsom press office on Twitter or X. I don't know if that's an official thing or not, but the first thing I see was a 15-second clip of this 3.5-minute video that we're about to watch, trying to claim X, right? Trying to claim that the same thing, doubling down that we've seen. If you control all 3 branches of government, how are you not in charge, right? And it's just, once again, as we go into, we're approaching November, we got the Thanksgiving holiday approaching, and I'm sure politics and the government shutdown is going to be, discussed at the table. And so the Democrats are going really hard on this narrative. I mean, it was like I scrolled once I clicked on the one or I clicked on the trending, and it was just the same thing over and over and over again, the same 16-second, 15-second clip of Mike Johnson. And it's like, dude, I know you guys are complicit or you're evil, you're just stupid, but didn't you learn with the Trump verifying people hoax? Haven't you learned from the short clips of Alex Jones that you shouldn't just trust a 15-second clip? That you need to, it can be still talking, find out what he said beforehand, find out what he said afterwards, and not just trust a 15-second soundbite, right? That it's and that's something that we should all do, but that's why the free thinkers are the ones that are more on the right side of things, politically, and just factually correct, being right. But because we take in the context, we listen to everything from beginning to end for the most part, and we're also open to hearing both sides rather than just staying in the echo chamber, which is what I was scrolling through earlier. So here's the full clip, and then we'll kind of go through. Yeah, they're insane. Here's a full clip, and then we'll go through, and I'll just show you some of those examples of how the left is framing it. And as I was saying, this is it's really easy to, as we go into the Thanksgiving holiday, to correct these folks if they're believing the lefty narrative, right? If you got the crazy uncle or the aunt that's just total lefty, Trump derangement syndrome, you can just ask them a few simple questions or point out a few facts, and you can completely derail their entire argument. And anybody that has common sense in the room is going to be like, yeah, this is the Democrats that shut the government down. And the Democrats are trying to use the American people as leverage to benefit their political party, basically keeping us as hostages with the SNAP benefits, with the pay of the military, with everything that they can, right? The healthcare, threats and everything like that. But I mean, we're at day 28 of the government being shut down, and I don't think I felt it one bit. I don't think I felt it one bit. I mean, and I'm sure there's good people that actually depend on SNAP and stuff like that. But trimming the fat is something that I elected Donald Trump for. I think that's something that you guys probably did as well. Bill the Baker says things are going to get crazy when SNAP benefits get cut off on November 1st. Have you heard the people saying they'll raid the stores November 1st? Yeah, I did. I was trying to look up a bunch of individual clips, but the best thing that I could actually come up with was a video from the quartering, and you guys might have watched it, but I think I'm going to play a part of that when I get to the SNAP part of this, and just because he has a nice little collaboration of people saying exactly that, Bill. TNT says, be prepared to fight for your groceries when you get into your car. Yeah. Eggnog is on the shelf at the Food Lion now. Wow. We're getting to the holidays. Have you guys seen the funny memes that's like the Mariah Carey song, like about to break out of the ice or whatever, because we're about to hit that Christmas holiday season? I laugh at that one. Yeah, when seconds count, police are minutes away. Girl's daughter says, oh, how I long for the days when there was only one villain in the world. Now they walk our streets, walk in our grocery stores, teach in our schools, and run our blessed lives. Oh man, that's excellent. And you're so right about that. Spot on. Smith and Wesson, yeah. You saw Christmas stuff in the store today? Yeah, one of my buddies, he runs a power washing company, and then around Christmas time, he my internet's connection is low. So I apologize if I start cutting out. But he runs a power washing, and then during the Christmas season, he installs people's lights and then takes them back down, right? And he put his first set of Christmas lights on a house today. Maybe it was yesterday, actually, but still, it's like, we haven't even passed Halloween. Come on. Yeah, at least after Halloween, right? At least after Halloween. But all right, here's this clip from Mike Johnson. He paraphrased it or whatever. He says, here are the simple facts about the Democrat shutdown. 1, Democrat votes are required to reopen the government. 2, Democrats have voted 13 times to keep it closed. 3, Democrats refuse to fund the government unless we restore $200 billion in health benefits for illegal aliens. Key word there is restore, not include. It's restore, which means it was there and they took it away, right? Billions for foreign projects, $500 million for leftist media outlets, and huge cuts to rural hospitals, which the $500 million for leftist media outlets is basically another restoration of what USAID cut, right? Because we remember that USAID cuts a lot of funding for media outlets, particularly leftist media outlets, which is crazy. I don't know why the government would need to subsidize or pay up front or do whatever it is to any kind of media unless they're trying to control a narrative. It's a very obvious and in the open tactic that they want to control the type of news and information that we hear. And then fourth, Democrats admit they're using the pain and suffering of the American people as leverage while boasting that every day gets better for them. Both quotes from Democrats. I guess my dog's getting in trouble. Democrats are going to use. Okay, we'll just let him talk.
So it brought you a little visual aid here to just remind everybody what the simple facts are. 4 simple facts here. The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number 1, Democrat votes are required to open the government. Point number 2, they refuse to do it. They have now voted 12 times to keep the government closed. And they'll have another chance today or tomorrow, maybe multiple times this week, and we'll see what they do. Now, the third point is very important because they've been trying to confuse the American people. They've tried to say this is a fight about health care or this or that or any other thing, and it's very simple. They put this on paper. They made this their demand in writing in the record of the Senate, and it has not changed. These are just 4 subpoints there under fact number 3.
And right there where he says they put it on paper, that's another tactic that the Democrat people, the shills for the Democrat Party will say, well, show me in the CR where it says this. And it's like, no, it's not in the CR. That's the whole reason why the Democrats aren't voting to reopen the government. The clean CR does not have the things that we're saying the Democrats are trying to put into it, because if they were in it, the Democrats wouldn't shut the government down, right? They're like, well, show me in the CR. Okay, well, I can't show you in the CR because it's not in it. It's easy. It's easy. Is that easy to understand? I think that's pretty easy to understand, right? But they're like, oh, that's their main talking point, or one of them.
But there's many more. But among the things they're demanding, this is what the Democrats in the Senate are demanding to reopen the government. They want to give $200 billion in health benefits to illegal aliens and non-citizens, paid for by U.S. taxpayers. That is in their proposal. They want billions in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries. So we stop these things. They want to turn it all back on. They're demanding that we do all that to get the government open for hardworking Americans again. They want to give $500 million to left-leaning news organizations, and they want to cut $50 billion from rural hospitals. We will not do those things. And they know that very well. Which leads us to point number 4. The Democrats have now openly admitted, and you all had to cover it last week, that they're using the pain of the American people as their leverage. That was the number 2 ranked Democrat in the House, the Democrat, the minority whip, who said that, acknowledged it in an interview, that this is leverage. And Chuck Schumer himself boasted that every day of the shutdown gets better for us. That's his now infamous quote that he wishes he had not said out loud. But you know what they're doing and why. Why are they demanding these things? Why is point number 3 so essential to them? Why would they do this? Because it's unprecedented, as we've noticed, and reminded you all, they voted for CRs every time it was possible in their lives, as recently as March of this year. But they're doing it to appease their far-left Marxist base.
Pee-wee Herman?
That's the headline. That's why. That's why we're all in this mess. That's why the American people are suffering pain, because the Democrats are more afraid of the Marxist in their base than they are of hardworking Americans. See, they've made an evaluation that they have to appease the Marxist base, that they're so concerned that they'll lose their jobs if they don't appease the far left in their party. And they sat in a back room and they made the calculation that they would rather shut the government down and impose all this pain on the American people because they believe the Marxists, the far left in the base, are more active than hardworking Americans, people who go vote. And so they made the calculation that it's worth it to them. Every day gets better for us. We'll use the pain as leverage. For what? To prove to the far left base that they won't give in, that they'll fight Trump and fight the Republicans. What are they fighting? It's a clean CR. It's the same level of funding that they have voted for as recently as earlier this year. They are Biden-level policies and spending. This is not some Republican wish list. We don't have any of our priorities in this at all. It's the Democrats' own product. But they have decided to flip the script this time because they were getting too much heat from the far left.
Y'all are cracking me up. First off, Earl's daughter says my aunt calls Mike Johnson Little Johnson Man when he really ticked her off. He has little pee-pee man. That's funny. And then she's 82, which makes it even more hilarious. I love that. That's awesome. She must be watching the show. We like to make fun of Mike Johnson for being short, although he is doing the right thing and towing the line right now when it comes to this CR against the Democrats. Although it's such a weird thing, right? Although I think the Republicans shouldn't be voting to reopen the government for any other reason besides when it comes down to these midterm elections a year from now. The Republicans are going to be the ones that can say, we voted to keep the government open, but I like the government being shut down. It's a weird situation, right? That one lady with common sense points out that 59% of illegal aliens get food stamps. That's crazy. That's crazy. And not crazy to say, but just crazy fact, right? Which we're going to get into some of those numbers here in just a minute. Bill the Baker says Mike is the kind of guy who would wear a bow tie by the looks of him. Yeah, he's got that Pee Wee Herman look, in my opinion. But like I said, he's towing the line for us right now and not negotiating with the Democrats, which is important. We don't want this crap that the Democrats are trying to put into the CR. They're trying to add to it or add back to it, undoing the work of Doge and all that stuff, right? And more. Even some climate change stuff, which recently I saw that Bill Gates is backtracking on his climate change agenda. I didn't get into the story, but I read the headline that's saying that he's now kind of backtracking on that. I don't know what that's all about, but it is what it is. Wolf's friend says, so that's over 50 million illegals since there are over 100 million illegals in America. I don't know if it's actually illegals or if it's just migrants, but the number that I'm seeing is 42 million that's going around. But also, I believe that the official number for illegals that came into the country under Biden is more of closer to like 40 to 50 million versus like the official narrative, which is like 12 or 15 million. I think Trump has said recently up to 20 million. TNT says he was wearing one, a bow tie, but the lady behind him suggested he wear her tie instead. Yeah, she doesn't have one on. That's really funny. Yeah, I like Mike. He just looks nerdy. Yeah, exactly. And he's short. I was surprised at how short he was when I saw him in person when I was there in DC for the inauguration of Trump this year. He comes walking through the Capitol when in the same room that I was in. And I was like, whoa, crap. I never thought about it, but this dude is short. Wolf's friend says real balanced budget, which has not happened in my lifetime since 1964. Yeah. Tinty says if you like the government being shut down, you aren't for deportations. Some money was appropriated, but not the wages of the boots on the ground. Yeah, it was like 1 point something billion was appropriated for that. It's cut out, so it doesn't have anything to do with the CR. But it probably does. You're right. Some of those people probably are on that same paycheck, not getting their checks. But those dudes, they're doing it for more than just a paycheck. These are the guys that quit their jobs as cops during COVID because during the pandemic, and stuff like that, where they were trying to weed out the good guys. I think they might have found a new home there at ICE or Department of Homeland Security and stuff like that. So hopefully with that $50,000 signing bonus and the pay that they're getting, they're still doing fine and working for free. But I did also see a side note that Vance announced that the military, which might include these folks, are set to receive their next paycheck. Earl's daughter says Johnson, the pain of the American people was caused by the government making them bond to slaves or getting involved in something private businesses could solve. Yeah, there's a lot of subsidies, but that's what the Democrat agenda is from the leadership / representatives, is that they want every American depending on the government for something, right? It's a power struggle. Paul's friend says 20 million under Obama, 11 under Trump's first, and 40 million under Biden, 71 million. Okay. Can we do a GoFundMe? Yeah. You know. Yeah, Bill, delete that, brother. I heard that Bill Gates has people out, all kinds of stuff that's monitoring when he's talked about in social medias. But yeah, we don't want you to get put in the banned situation.
So it brought you a little visual aid here to.
All right, let me. I gotta minimize that. I'll bring this over here. So it just plays you the full context, or the majority of the full context, right? Like I say, we should watch the whole thing, but look, we're not going to play a 45-minute speech or 25-minute speech or whatever from Mike Johnson. But that is the more of the entirety of what the Democrats clipped out, right? So here I pointed this out: the Governor Newsom press office official account for the press office of Gavin Newsom. Okay, so it's actually an official account, I suppose. They reposted it. Or they reposted this and included, if you control all three branches of government, how are you not in charge? And that's just something that they keep repeating. It's an echo chamber thing. Bill says, bring it on, Gates. And like you can see it, the person they reposted, excuse me, it's got 1 million followers. Good Lord. Some of these lefties, they just got way too many followers, even on X. Like, how did this even happen? I guess it was probably before Elon bought it. I don't know, maybe not. The way that I'm getting fed Democrat stuff on X right now. Anyways, he says Democrats are required to open the government, in quotes. They keep saying, but Republicans are in charge of the government. We aren't. And so it's like, once again. But here's a quote, or here's a video that they're all reposting.
The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number one, Democrat votes are required to open the government.
And they cut it off before he makes the point that the vital point to this statement, which is there's not 60 Republicans in the Senate. So it requires the cooperation of Democrats to get to that number 60. It's real simple. I know Democrats think 2 + 2 can equal 5, but regardless, there's not enough Republicans in the Senate to hit the 60 vote mark, which is why Speaker Mike Johnson is telling the truth here when he says that the Democrats are required to open the government. It's a plain and simple fact. This person asked Grok, which party is ultimately keeping the government closed? And Grok says Democrats are keeping the government closed. The Senate Democrats under Majority Leader Chuck Schumer have blocked Republican funding bills over a dozen times, rejecting stopgaps. Where'd it go? Try to blow it up, make it bigger, and scroll down. Let's see here. Rejecting stopgaps that would reopen operations. Schumer controls the Senate agenda and has prioritized demands for additional spending protections over clear resolutions. While Congress holds the purse, Biden's veto power adds leverage. But without Senate passage, no bill reaches his desk. Compromise remains stalled in the Democratic terms. So I think Grok might believe that Biden is still the president, but you know, it's AI. It's not perfect. But ultimately is true there. It's really funny. So here's just another one. This is the very same thing, but this is Jessica Tarlov. Don't Republicans control the House, Senate, and White House? Asking for a friend. And it's the same video. And like I said, it's just one after another. Like 3.4 million views on this. Like I wish, and I don't understand, like it has rated proposed community notes. I'm in the, like, you won't see these if you're not in the, like, I don't know. I'm able to approve community notes essentially as part of the community. We'll just open it up here. This should be a community note. The full quote: "We aren't in the Senate. We aren't." Excuse me. The full quote is, "We aren't not the Senate. In the Senate, 60 votes are required for cloture." So they cut it off before the end, right? And I did rate that as helpful in a few other ones, but that should actually be a community note that's on this post by now. 3.4 million viewers. That should have been on there right away. And most of the responses, "You're failing to tell the truth. Jessica, a human would remember 60 votes are needed." She responded and said, "Indeed, I know full well, but like when the Democrats are in power, it's on them to compromise to get the votes they need. Johnson doesn't need to get that." That's actually a bunch of bullshit. When the Democrats are in power, it's on them to compromise. When have the Democrats ever compromised to anything the Republicans have suggested or wanted on a bill? They push through bills. They push through everything that they can. That's crazy. Tommy Loren says, "Jessica, you're well aware of who is and is not voting to reopen the government. Tell your friends to put down their poster boards and actually work." Greg Foreman. Oh, that's cool. A Black conservative perspective. I haven't seen him for a while. This talking point is so stupid you don't even believe it. And that's the point right there that's important to understand, is that these people should know better. And because they do, it means that they are complicit with the lie, that they're willing to lie to you along with the representatives that we elect in order to push the Democrat narrative, which hurts all of us, right? It's basically to get more power for the Democrat Party. So here's Senator Mazie Hirono. She's a real gem. She posted, "Friendly reminder that Republicans control the White House, the Senate, and the House." All this stuff was been posted within the last couple days, last day or so. This has 1.2 million views. She's super ratio. Look at that, 11,000 likes versus 27,000 comments. This should have a community note as well, as opposed to a rated proposed community note. Because it's a straight up lie. TNT says, "If it was a new bill, yeah, I agree with debate and compromise when necessary, but this is a simple funding bill. It doesn't need pork." Yeah, that's a good point too. That's an excellent rebuttal to what Jessica Tarlov said. Not to mention, to add to that, like Speaker Mike Johnson said, this is something, a CR, that the Democrats have been more than willing to vote for in the past, is as recent as this year. So what's changed? The expiration of the Obama healthcare subsidies, or was it? And then the other thing from Biden's pandemic healthcare stuff or whatever. These things are set to expire probably in a few weeks now, because it's already been 4 weeks, and it was 7 weeks when this first 7 weeks away when they first voted to shut the government down. So yeah, we're probably 3 weeks away from that. They're not really doing their jobs at all, right? And I do agree with your point there that if it was a new bill, then yeah, I agree, debate and compromise when necessary. Well, you're implementing something new it's a new negotiation, but not this. This is a CR. Yeah. Earl's daughter says these politicians are doing what they do best, playing off the ignorance of the average American. Yeah. And then you have assholes like Jessica Tarlov and all these other people. This is just a small example of, I mean, I scrolled for a minute past all these people that were saying the same exact thing, posted the same exact 16-second video. So yeah, it's it's people that are complicit in the media as well. And I just don't think they're that stupid. I just don't think they're that stupid. But I mean, maybe they are. And when I say stupid, I mean unintelligent, right? they need the extra COVID money to pay for all the aliens' healthcare. F them and F COVID money. Time to get back to business as normal. Yeah, I agree with that completely. So Swalwell, he even posted. I want to read the comments on this one. Swalwell. Democrats offered a bill to pay all federal workers during the Trump shutdown. Every Republican kept it from passing. How do you not pay people who are working? Okay, so he's trying to say that even though we're voting to close the government and are ultimately at fault, the Republicans failed to negotiate with us and cave to our demands to get the federal workers paid, to keep them on payroll, right? And the comments are gold here. This one, Alaska Girl, says, "You're a liar. That bill completely neutered the administration. It was not a bill to just pay federal workers. You were presented with a bill to pay federal workers, curb insurance premiums, maybe kept insurance premiums where they were while negotiating, and feed families, and every single Democrat voted no. No one believes you." And let me just make sure. I wanted to pull up the Grok explanation on this. So they want to CR the CR? Yeah, exactly. It's like a workaround. How can we get them to work with us and cave to our demands and try to make ourselves look better as a party? We'll go out there and we'll say that we're fighting for all these federal employees to still get paid. It's like, what good is the government shutdown for then? You want to like work around it? It's crazy. Like, come up with a new bill and F the CR, right? If you want to do that. But Grok explains it a little bit more. The ex-post replies that Eric Swalwell's claim that Democrats proposed a bill solely to pay all federal workers during the 2025 government shutdown, which Republicans blocked, by accusing him of lying and arguing the Democrat bill included restrictive provisions undermining executive authority. It highlights that Democrats unanimously rejected a Republican bill offering to pay for workers' insurance premium stability during negotiations and food assistance to support families, framing this as evidence against Swalwell's narrative. Senate records confirmed dueling partisan bills to compensate workers failed last week, with Democrats blocking 13 Republican clean funding resolutions. So details on Van Hollen's pay bill. Van Hollen, I guess, is the dude that introduced this. This is what I really wanted to get to, because it shows what this person is talking about, that it was the bill completely neutered the administration. And we'll just let it do its search here. Hopefully it pulls up something similar to what I discovered earlier. But let's see here. Overview of the True Shutdown Fairness Act, S3039. The True Shutdown Fairness Act is a bipartisan bill led by U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen, introduced in the Senate on October 23, 2025, amid the ongoing federal government shutdown that began on October 1st. Co-sponsored by several Democratic senators, including Ben Ray and whoever, and others. The legislation aims to provide immediate back pay and ongoing compensation to all the affected federal workers, military personnel, and contractors during the lapse in appropriations. It was brought to the Senate floor the same day via unanimous consent, but was blocked by the Republican objections as part of the broader partisan debates over shutdown funding. Democrats framed it as a comprehensive fairness measure, while critics argued it included provisions that could limit the executive flexibility, such as restrictions on workforce reductions. The bill's full text is concise, spanning just a few pages. The focus on emergency appropriations without broader policy and focuses on emergency appropriations without broader policy riders. It builds on prior shutdown pay protections, but expands coverage to all personnel, regardless of furlough status. So let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah, this aims to prevent mass firings for punitive actions tied to the shutdown. Okay, I'll just read through some of these. This isn't the exact same thing that I saw earlier that it pulled up. Yeah, 3 Dems don't sound bipartisan. You're right about that. Appropriations for pay and benefits authorizes such sums as are necessary for the U.S. Treasury, not otherwise appropriated to cover standard pay rates, allowances, differentials, benefits, and other regular payments for duration of the shutdown, effective retroactively as if enacted on September 30th, ensuring back pay for all the entire lapse period. Now I did hear something curiously when I was on the call with my local representative, the weekly calls that I've told you to come out to me sometimes. And somebody said that last time the government was shut down, they got a big lump sum back pay and it got overtaxed. Like, if you work a bunch of overtime in 1 week, it puts you in that next higher tax bracket, and then you had to pay more taxes. So they didn't get as much as they would have had it been spread out over the weeks, which theoretically that all works out in the end when you do your taxes at the end of the year. But who wants to loan the government extra money, especially if you're working on a budget? So that was an interesting, a little side note to getting the back pay. Hopefully they can figure that out. Funds are available until the termination date, defines as when, so expenditures will be charged. Where's it at? Coverage. So federal employees applies to all employees. Service members includes active duty members of the armed forces. Protections against workforce reductions. So this was the key, I think, that I saw that I wanted to notate, really. Prohibits the use of any federal funds under this act or others during the shutdown to propose or implement a reduction in force or similar pertinent staff cuts, place employees on administrative leave for more than 10 workdays or any calendar year. This aims to prevent mass firings or punitive actions tied to the shutdown, though it explicitly does not affect voluntary separation incentives under existing law. So Democrats highlighted this as a safeguard against administration attempts at mass firings. You see that right there? That's the whole reason why I want the government shut down. It gives Trump, the executive, power that he wouldn't otherwise have if Congress was in play, right? I want mass firings. I want him to reduce the workforce. And so this little caveat that they added into this here is basically, just like Alaska Girl said, neutering the administration. You're taking away the executive power in a government shutdown. That's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm glad that the Republicans didn't cave and give the Democrats this inch. They don't deserve that inch. And yeah. So Senator Rick Scott, he revives his No Budget, No Pay Act amid the 28-day shutdown. I haven't spoke for an hour straight in a while. My throat's kind of feeling it. So I'll put this on the screen. Senator Rick Scott revives the No Budget, No Pay Act amid the 28-day shutdown. Florida Senator Rick Scott has introduced it to suspend. This is an act to suspend congressional salaries during government shutdowns caused by missed spending deadlines. The bill, co-sponsored by Republicans and mirrored in the House as H.R. 5792, responds to the current 28-day shutdown triggered by partisan disputes over funding resolutions, leaving over 800,000 federal workers furloughed or unpaid. Scott argues the measure promotes accountability. It does. If you can just vote to keep the government shut and still get your paycheck, it means you have to do less. I mean, absolute power has corrupted that, right? So Scott urges the measure promotes accountability, drawing parallels to private sector practices, while public reactions on social media highlight both support and skepticism of its effectiveness. And here's the actual clip.
You didn't get paid.
I'm going to make that bigger, and hopefully it's loud enough.
If you didn't do your job in business, you didn't get paid. You don't show up and do your job, you don't get paid. Why are we getting paid? We shouldn't get paid if we don't do our job. We need to figure out how to work together to get our budgets done. It's as simple as that.
So you're going to offer legislation to not get paid during shutdowns?
Absolutely. I already have a bill. We've got a bill that we don't get paid during the shutdown. Ron Johnson's got a bill that we'll never have shutdowns That should pass also. But on top of that, what are the Democrats doing? This is a clean resolution. All we're doing is keeping the funding. Actually, the funding is too high. It's still the Biden funding. But I don't want to shut down government, so I support it. But the Democrats, they want to shut down for whatever reason. How is this good for the country? Nobody wins with a shutdown.
And so, that's a good point. I'm voting to keep it open, but also at the same time saying that I shouldn't get a paycheck if the Democrats won't cooperate with me. Now, there's a lot of people out here saying, "Oh, Rick Scott's worth $500 million. Who cares?" And this falls upon deaf ears or whatever. It doesn't affect him. It doesn't affect any of the Congress people. They make over $100,000 a year on salary. It's like $175,000 a year on salary, plus all the extracurricular stuff that they're allowed to do. Right? It doesn't hurt any of them to not get paid for a month. And if they, I'm all for this, and I think the American people would be all for it too. Look, if you guys can't come to an agreement, you want to hold us hostage to negotiate for healthcare for illegals and a bunch of other bullshit, you don't get paid. The incentive should be there to let's get back to work so that we can get paid, if nothing else, right? And thanks for that suggestion. I'll do some tea with honey after the show. Yeah, Earl's daughter says, let's do it. No money for politicians sitting on the couch. TNT, I suppose that AIPAC money could get them by, right? Yeah, it should. It should definitely. But there's a lot of people reposting this. Lily Tang Williams, I like her. Yeah, this person, the paychecks are minuscule compared to all the other payments they're receiving. Kind of empty gesture, given that most of them get rich from money laundering and insider trading. Yeah, but still, they like to get paid. They like to get money. That's the thing. If money is so important to them, they still want to get what they have coming to them, and that's just anybody, right? Close some of these tabs down. So yeah, that's about all the updates on the government shutdown. We're going to move over to the second part of this. Let me see. Is that? Oh wait, no. Yeah, tabs within a tab open here. Okay, so yeah, we're going to move over to the snap scenario, right? So government shut down his 28th day. SNAP benefits teeter on the brink amid GOP Democrat standoff. The U.S. government shutdown entered its 28th day since October 1st, 2025, has left 1.4 million federal workers unpaid and threatens to cut off $8 billion in SNAP benefits for 40 million recipients starting November. Republicans controlled the White House, and Senate, claim Democrats have blocked clean funding bills 13 times via filibuster. Well, they did. This shit's going to backfire in the midterms. I completely agree. Raiders first downs. And I hope the people are smart enough to convey this message to their family members here during Thanksgiving and Christmas when everybody gets together and has these chats, right? Historically, people have tended to avoid political conversations, but the Democrats can never help. They cannot help themselves to bring it up. Oh, Trump this, oh, blah, blah, blah. And so when they do, it's very easy to correct them with the facts and just remind them of the scenario here that it requires the cooperation of the Democrats to reopen the government because there is not 60 Republican senators and it requires 60 votes to reopen. Earl's daughter says, I still want a bill where politicians get paid minimum wage and they only receive the same benefits as a typical federal worker. Clean house. Yeah, you're right about that. I don't think the left can remember more than 1 month at a time. Yeah, hopefully you can sow the seed this year. And then when it comes down to holiday season next year, the candidates and their political campaign ads and things like that they just shove down our throats on anything you watch on TV can remind them, right? Maybe that'll happen. I know I'll be saying it still. So let's see here. Democrats accused the GOP of refusing to extend the Affordable Care Act subsidies that could double premiums for 20 million people. Federal unions urged to end the impasse. A billionaire donor partially funded military pay, and President Trump remains abroad as negotiations stall. Oh, yeah, that's the other point. They're saying, well, while America is in crisis and the government shut down, Trump is traveling overseas. Well, Trump doesn't have a vote in this. It's the Senate. Trump still has a government to run. Like, he's not shutting down like the Democrats here. They're filming themselves in these videos of empty, unused rooms in the Capitol building, claiming, where's the Republicans? Like the one looked in the freaking fireplace and like doesn't know that he's actually a man. It's crazy. It's crazy. No TV since the Matrix trilogy in 2013. TNT says then they would make minimum wage $2,000 a year. To counter Earl's daughter's comment there. That's funny. That's what they do. That's what they do. Bring your zombie spray to the grocery store. TNT, that's a good idea. I'd like to see Congress get paid the median wage of the state they represent. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's no kings, right? They shouldn't get paid like kings. They need to get paid like the rest of us. So Chuck Schumer's fuming. Chuck Schumer is fuming that Trump has shown what an actual president is capable of doing, unlike what we saw under Biden. Quote, this is the second foreign trip in a month. I know it's unbelievable to Democrats to see someone with a work ethic, but Trump is a machine. And so we're not going to listen to this full 3 minutes, but we'll play the beginning here of old Chucky Schumer.
Mr. President, open enrollment is 5 days away. Starting this Saturday, tens of millions of Americans face the specter of financial crisis.
Why plea to the president when he doesn't have a vote in this? I know you guys are trying to spin the narrative that Trump is the one that's telling the Republicans not to negotiate with you, but that's a lie. The American people who I am peers with, you folks in chat, myself, we don't want to negotiate with the Democrats on this. The Republicans are serving our will for once instead of yours. And the president's decision might have some weight. Because ultimately he wants the government opened, and so are the Republicans who are voting to open it. But we're not going to negotiate. The time of negotiation was before you guys went after Donald Trump with the lawfare in the Department of Justice. Maybe even before that. But when you guys crossed the line, you know, all's fair. The green tie makes him look even older. How is that possible? Okay, we'll play a little bit more.
All while Donald Trump is dancing on the tarmac in Malaysia.
He's dancing on the tarmac. I thought that he was taking drugs for being borderline Alzheimer's. Isn't that the new narrative that they're trying to spin? He's dancing on the tarmac, you guys. He's fine. He's not falling upstairs.
Donald Trump may be having a nice time abroad, but people here at home are dreading open enrollment.
Not you.
Insurance plans that cost $300 or $400 a month.
You know, to your point there earlier, Earl's daughter, you said you still want to build that makes politicians get paid a minimum wage and receive the same benefits as typical federal. Well, you said same benefits. Okay, so yeah, they should also not get this specialized health care. You know what I mean? He's not worried about his health care with this government shutdown. If he was, he would probably be more prone to negotiate with the Republicans and come over to their Republican side, which, you know, but no, he's definitely not. But you're right about that. You're right about that. They got the same healthcare plans. If they got the same type of pay structure, like what TNT and what you guys are saying here also. TNT says, imagine $175K in Mississippi goes a lot further than in New York. Rose daughter for sure. Same here in Oklahoma. Yeah, Schumer pleading with the king. Oh, I agree with that. Eliminate all sex abuse slush funds as well. Yeah, 100%. No tax dollars protecting those folks.
will suddenly cost $2,000 a month or more because Republicans prefer to shut the government down over working with Democrats to extend the ACA tax credits.
That doesn't even make sense. The Republicans are voting to open the government. It's the Democrats that are negotiating. You don't have the power. You don't have the majority. You have not, like, you have no leg to stand on, no clout. What do you mean the Republicans? Crazy, which I'm not going to play anymore. I can only stand so much of that guy's voice. And it's just lies. It's just lies. But, you know, he's conducting the echo chamber. So what comes from him then goes through the echo chamber. And then people like, what's her name earlier what was her name? Jessica Tarlov. And the likes go and retweet it. But this right here, this is who the Democrats have chose to speak about not having enough food if SNAP is cut. Like, you can't even.
Employee of the school district, I only get paid once a month.
You can feed your children with one of your fingers for like a month. What are you talking about? She has
By the time I get my bills paid, I have nothing left to pay for food and other basic needs. If it wasn't for SNAP benefits, I wouldn't be able to feed my children or myself. I
Really?
work, pay my bills, and like every other mom, I want to be sure that I have enough food to put on the table.
I am a school teacher, and like everyone else, I want to have enough money to feed my children. Like, are you for realiously? I know I said that. Like, seriously though. Like, this is who they chose? She's got like a 5-pound roll of hamburger. I shouldn't make fun of her. I'm sorry. Because, you know, it's, some people can't control it. But this is just not the right... Like, you need to send an Ethiopian out here. You need Starvin' Marvin out here saying, I need my SNAP benefits. You don't need this lady reading off a script claiming she's a school teacher and unable to read fluently. Like, look, I have my issues with reading, but I'm not a school teacher. One more time.
Employee of the school district, I only get paid once a month.
Okay, she's an employee of the school district. My bad. She's not a teacher. She's probably, well, I won't assume.
Month.
A lunch lady.
By the time I get my bills paid, I have nothing left to pay for food and other basic needs. If it wasn't for SNAP benefits, I wouldn't be able to feed my children or myself. I work, pay my bills, and like every other mom, I want to be sure that I have enough food to put on the table. Employee.
You can't just say that out of your own mind. She's a health teacher. You know this, man. Replacing chairs every month must get costly. Look, the Democrats just aren't putting their best foot forward. They just want you to believe their words, right? Democrats should implement the socialism they love so much. They should tax themselves 90% of their wealth and donate it to the poor Americans. I know. Yeah, 100%. Instead, they want to take from the working class, which is not Democrats, right? Besides the Democrat elites. They climbed the ladder and pulled it up behind them. But pick a better person. Like I said, Starvin' Marvin would have his words would have rang more true than this lady's. So Steve Scalise, the CEO, says the CEO of Hunger Free America said, "We're going to see the greatest hunger crisis since the Great Depression, when 42 million Americans lose their SNAP benefits because of the Schumer shutdown. What are Democrats waiting for? End this madness, open the government."
Rep. Amelia Sykes said, quote, "We know that people are going to suffer if we don't open the government. People will go hungry." Well, she knows it. She's causing that hunger, but let's put a point on this.
More like Earl's daughter says, she ain't feeding the children, she's eating them. More like she's eating the food that is supposed to go to her children from her SNAP benefits. which is mostly junk food. Like I got some of the numbers here that I'm going to share with you guys. And, you know, we're talking about the MAHA. We also elected Trump for the MAHA initiative, right? Make America Healthy Again. And SNAP is it's abused tremendously when it comes to, you know, what our kids are eating, what Americans are eating.
In an ABC article regarding the 42 million Americans that are going to lose SNAP benefits next week, Joel Berg, who's the CEO of the nonprofit Hunger Free America, said this quote, "We are going to see the greatest hunger crisis since the Great Depression." And that's not hyperbole, that's just true. The greatest hunger crisis since the Great Depression, when 42 million people lose their SNAP benefits this weekend. What are these Democrats waiting for? This is not a game. This is not leverage. They're taking food off the table for families, for babies. It's disgusting. It's time to end
It
the
appears
madness.
so, TNT. TNT says if they pass the CR, SNAP's restored. Yeah, it appears so. But yeah, we need more Republicans out here. Wolf's Run says fear mongering, but this is actually telling the truth. But we need more Republicans out here saying it how it is versus how the Democrats are getting ahead of the narrative like they do, and then they just echo chamber it. We need more Republicans saying, look, the Democrats are doing this. If SNAP doesn't go to you, it's because the Democrats are not negotiating. They need to clarify their message. Instead of depending on folks like me to say this, they need to be out there saying every single one of them. They need to be shooting selfie videos and playing the same game the Democrats do. Because we saw between those two posts, like 6.5 million views or 5.5 million views. Well, I think one was actually like 3. Was it 4.5 or 3.5 million? And the other one was 1.2. Regardless, we're talking almost 5 million views of people taking in that content that the Democrat narrative. The Republicans have to counter it. If they don't counter it with the truth, it just won't get out. It won't get around. It won't spread.
Rep. Amelia Sykes said,
TNT says, so they're talking about rioting and looting over it when all they have to do is call their effing rep. Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's all they have to do. If all these people that were on Snap, instead of running to social media, posting videos of themselves, like, we're just going to take it, actually got on the phone call, it's not like they got jobs. They got plenty of time. If they bombarded their representatives saying, negotiate with the Republicans, get the government back open because my kids are literally not going to eat. Maybe they're afraid that the Democrats will tell them no. I don't know. It's really weird. But these are the same people that are also reposting all this crap from the Democrat narrative. Yacht Rock Girl says, no, Steve, the SNAP program is a huge scam. Now, that's the other part about it. People have made it a way of life when it's supposed to be a temporary helping hand. There needs to be a lifetime maximum, and there needs to be serious restrictions on able-bodied adults that are receiving benefits. Enough of this BS. This person says, stop feeding the obesity problem. The children get free meals at school. That's true. Others can visit charities and churches for assistance. Also true. Churches provide lots and lots of food to the communities, especially the good ones. The nation does not have a food shortage. I know that one of the churches that I've been going to, they literally just bought like a warehouse and a giant freezer, like a giant, like trailer-sized freezer. They hand out so much food to the local community just themselves. So, these people are just trapped. They're trapped in the government net, the web, I should say. They're a bunch of spiders. Earl's daughter said, my son had a brain tumor in 2010. His medical treatment, doctors, and medications dang near broke us. On suggestion of the hospital, we applied for Medicaid and food stamps. I'm grateful for that safety. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Some people need it, but then when things got better, right, you guys probably didn't stay on it. But it is designed to help people that need it. Like, that's what it's for. We don't need people getting fat off of SNAP. We don't need illegals or even migrants. Why are we going to allow people to legally move to our country if they're going to just go on government benefits? You know what I mean? She continued, said, I'm grateful that the safety net was there, and it took us 2 years to get back on our feet, but the minute we did, we cut it all off. See, that's how it's intended to be used. And you guys did well, and I hope your son is doing fine from that, and I'm glad that stuff was in place for you, because that's who it's designed for. Things happen to families that, unforeseen things like that, and that's what being able to have programs like this designed for folks like you and your family is part of what makes our country great. But then you have takers that see this opportunity and they capitalize on it and they abuse it, and then it ends up becoming too much from us, right? And then the people like you might not get as much of it as you needed. You know what I mean? Because then they're spreading it more thin. TNT says we have so much food. We've been sending it to hundreds of countries for decades. That's true. Yeah, trapped on the government plantation. Earl's daughter continues to say people have no discipline, no self-discipline or self-respect these days. Right. Well, they've just been told since they were kids that we get our money from the government. You know what I mean? They just grow up. They don't even know any better. Well, they might know better, but that's been ingrained in them for their way of life. It's been going on for so long. TNT says that's exactly how we should have those programs for people in need, not leeches. Yes, 100%. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I saw a post about government cheese. TNT says Trump needs to refill the government cheese warehouses. I think they actually still have like giant caves of government cheese. I could be wrong. I think I remember seeing something about that in a video like in the last year or two. This person says nobody is starving. 70% of the recipients are obese. No more benefits for foreigners. Oh, 2 or 3 weeks without New York strips. So sad. So we got this right here. We're gonna go through some graphs, I think, next. This is from C3. Why would the SNAP program almost double starting when Biden was president? See chart number 2. America was flooded with illegals and anchor babies were born. Then the entire household is eligible for SNAP. Americans pay for it all. That's the scam. And so you have this first graph right here. This is the federal food stamp SNAP spending bill. By billions. So in 2010, it was about 70 billion. It peaked at about 81 billion in 2013. And then it started going down. Even under Obama, continued to go down under Trump until midway through 2019, 2020. So you got like pandemic and Biden taking office. Essentially, and then it spikes up to about 150 billion over. It literally doubles, over doubles almost, depending on where you start at. We'll start off here at like 65, goes up to 150, which is almost 2.5 times within a 2-year period. It did go down a little bit under Biden, and then we're here currently at like 120-ish. That's crazy. That's a little bit too much, right? And then the other graph that they accompanied that with is historical illegal crossings along the U.S. southern border since 2020, or since 2000. Which, look at that, 2,000. What was that, Bush? Just letting a bunch of people in too. 200,000 is the highest mark here. But look at this giant spike. I don't think it's, I don't think it's crazy to say that this has an effect on that first number, on that first graph. I mean, just a complete outlier, but it counts. Mostly outliers, you can throw them out of the equation, but this one doesn't. Now, thankfully, here in 2025, look, it's been reduced to almost like an all-time low in the past 25 years. The other all-time low looks like sometime in Trump's first term, which he did have a spike there, but then it went back down. They had an issue, and then they got it taken care of. But these people are all still here, minus the 500,000 or so that Trump has deported. These people are all still here. That's a compounding problem. This person says, so if individuals are successfully crossing, no one would know, right? This is caught illegal immigrants. And then he clarified and said, these are the ones caught while millions snuck in. Yeah, that's the thing. That's just the ones that they track through the CBP1 app, by the way. Yeah, that is. That's generational wealth just being pissed away. Yeah, 100%. And like I've said many times, I think the official number is maybe half of what the actual number is of people that came into our country. Because that's just the ones they count are the ones that they facilitated through. There are still people crossing across the border. Oh, that's the same one. So Sassafras posted here. I don't really care anymore. The fact that 40 million Americans are on SNAP benefits blows my mind. Well, I'll add that Americans is kind of lightly used lightly. We have a huge fraud problem in America. Generational benefits should not be a thing. Generational benefits should not be a thing. The whole system needs to be revamped. Right. It should be a temporary program. Somebody suggested earlier that maybe it has a lifetime cap, but maybe only so many months out of the year. Maybe you get 2 months out of the year or something like that, up to 5 years, which gives you 10 months that you can bank before you start knocking them down again. But then it caps off or something, some type of thing where, look, like what happened to Earl's daughter, Lord forbid, in that type of situation, there might be another time where their family would need to, for whatever reason, take advantage of that benefit. And if it was capped off when used properly, I wouldn't agree with that, right? Because it should still be there for the people who are using the program properly. So I don't think that the lifetime cap or something like that would be an effective method. But really just what it needs is a regulated on the front end to make sure that it's going to the right type of people who, look, it's a hand up, it's not a hand out, right? Just like unemployment. And it's crazy because it keeps people down. And now, like unemployment, for example, I've been on it multiple times because I used to work a seasonal job that would lay me off every winter, then rehire me. So I'd get a couple months of unemployment every year. And there's always the 2-week waiting period, so you don't get paid for those 2 weeks. And then they cap it to where, like, look, you're getting so much per week, and you're allowed to work. But if you make over like just whatever amount that same week, then it starts cutting out of the unemployment and it's a wash. So why work anything additionally? Like if I got $400 a week and I was allowed to make $100 a week additionally, but if I made 110, that $10 would come out of the unemployment that was coming to me, and I still got the same 500. Then why would I work any extra hours? I've never been on SNAP, but I assume that maybe there's something in there with that to where it just keeps people from actually wanting to go out and get a good job. Instead, they'll work black market type of jobs, selling things illegally or whatever to supplement their income if they need it. But unemployment runs out. Ultimately, you're supposed to be looking for a job. They even help you get a job, and stuff like that. In some states, they even work with you and try to help you get a job and present job opportunities to you in the field and whatnot. But it runs out. It runs out. But then you can go back on it the next year, right? So I don't know. There definitely needs to be a cutoff. You don't want generational benefits. You don't want people coming up and saying, hearing their mom say, we get paid from the government on the 28th, then we can go grocery shopping. And then they just think that, okay, we get our government money on the 28th, and then they become an adult themselves. And it's like, all right, well, I still live in this house. Now, how do I get my benefits or whatever? You know what I mean? And then it just compounds. I have an example here, actually. Well, I have it in the outline. We'll get to it here in just a second. Let me just go to the next thing. So another thing, why are 42 million people receiving SNAP benefits? You've seen them, fake lashes, manicured nails, and able bodies. They pull out EBT cards from designer purses. There's a serious problem with this program. It's not free, it's fraud. Oh yeah, and here it is right here, actually. It was right up next. So everybody always asking me why I'm... Okay. Everybody always asking me why I'm a single mother at of 5 at the age of 26. Okay, so why am I a single mother of 5 kids at the age of 26? If y'all was really smart, okay, we're gonna ignore the fact that this person didn't pass high school English. But if y'all was really smart, you'd understand kids is the biggest hustle out there. I don't clock into no job. I let Uncle Sam and baby daddies cut me a check every month. 5 kids equals 5 bags. Food stamps, rent, free healthcare, and child support on top of that. All right, because the government's going to make sure that the dad is liable for child support, you know, in most states. My bills paid before I even wake up. Everybody keep asking why I had 5 kids, because every single one come with a check attached. No comments. My life secured while y'all stressing over 9 to 5s. Don't be mad at me. Be mad you ain't catch on to the hustle. Hashtag FB lifestyle, whatever that is. Have kids, kick out the dads, get paid for the government. I mean, we talk about the destruction of a family. We talk about the milking of a government system fraudulently, essentially. Crazy. And it's so funny. If y'all was really smart, I say the idiocy of being brazen enough and not self-aware enough to actually type this out and post this. You serious? It's crazy. Oh yeah, that's probably what that spike came from, Wolf's friend. That spike on that graph was the migrant caravans during Trump's first term for 6 months. Yeah, but that's right. Yeah, 8 caravans. I forgot about those things. Gosh, so much to keep track of. Thank you. In Oregon, every dollar you earn comes out of your unemployment. Okay, so you can't even make a little bit additional in Oregon. So the boss calls and says, I got 1 day work for you. It's dumb to accept it other than for pride. Yeah. And of course you're not going to. Why go to work that day if you just get the same amount of money? Is they taking EBT is one of the highest searched on Google lately? Is they? Yeah, that's right. Is they? I figure. Oh my God. And you know what else they do? Is they there's certain things that they can't buy on EBT from what I understand. So they will sell like, here, I got $1,000 credit or I got $100 credit. I'll pay for your groceries if you buy me this alcohol. I'll give you $100 worth of groceries and I'll swipe my card for you if you go over here and buy this other thing for me. Or if you just give me cash. You give me $50 cash, I'll swipe $100 of groceries on my EBT card. Yeah, that's not how it's supposed to be. This person says, I work part-time at a convenience store. This lady came in with $1,000 food stamp balance. She had a Coach purse, Coach wallet, thigh-high boots, diamonds on every finger, and drove away in a newer BMW. What up, Wickmoto? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, this program needs to be redesigned. So this is interesting. Only 18% of SNAP recipients are American. Food stamps by ethnicity here. Percentage of U.S. food stamps receiving SNAP benefits. Afghan is 45%, Somali 42%. And that's on top of them, you know, doing what they do with the, oh, wait, no, that's the Haitians with the cats and dogs, the strays in the neighborhood. Sorry. I had to make a joke. Iraqi 34, Dominican 34, Caribbean 28, Native Americans 27, Puerto Rican 27, Cuban 25. So I guess they're saying, hang on, I'm confused about this. Because shouldn't these percentages add up to 100? How are they breaking this down? It should be percentage of U.S. households. So 45% of the Afghani households. So if there's 100 Afghani households, 45 of them are on SNAP benefits. Okay. Okay, I see that now. Okay, so these numbers are relative to the amount of households. There could be 1,000 for the Native Americans, but then 100 for the Afghanis. So the percentages are kind of, it's hard to that's interesting. So white is 8.6%, Italian is 7.6%, and then the lowest is Indian at 4.4%. That's because all the Indians got the H-1B jobs. Oh, there's Italy. Yeah. You know, Italians, they're kind of imperative to the structure and building of our country. And then we got white is 8.6, Chinese 9.6, Filipino 8.6. So this is the percentage of the households. And I'm sure there's a lot, well, obviously there's a lot more white households, probably majority of, I don't know about the majority, but the high number out of all these categories. So it'd be a lot more alarming if, say, white households was getting 45.6. That'd be a net way higher amount of households than whatever the Afghans are or whatever. But I'd rather see this as a part of just truly Americans. So this says 8% of SNAP recipients are American. So I don't know where you probably have Americans in here everywhere, but this one says 59% of illegal immigrants are receiving food stamps. I think I actually have this same video. Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll save that for a second here. Migrants are getting 40% of the government-funded SNAP program. Yeah, let me just pull this over here. So it says here, migrants are getting 40% more of the government-funded SNAP program than low-income Americans in New York City. SNAP issues electronic benefits that can be used like cash to purchase food. What the heck is going on? All right, let's hear it.
Each migrant will get approximately $12.52 per day to purchase food and baby supplies. That's about 40% more than what the average low-income American gets in this country on government food stamps or SNAP benefits in 2022, which was about $7.59 per person per day. To put in other words, that $53 million...
$53 million for migrant prepaid cards. Remember those? Department of Veteran Services get 21 million, 2.5 times the amount. Office of National and Community Service, Department of Human Rights, Division of Human Rights, Cancer Services Programs.
It's being used for this prepaid debit program is double what the New York State is budgeting in 2025 for its Department of Veteran Services, its Office of National and Community Service, its Division of Human Rights, and it's more than each migrant will get.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, TNT. I bet those aren't actual Italians, though, that they're immigrants to Italy that came here. Yeah, that could be the case. Oh, actually, I wasn't thinking that they went from Africa to Italy and then came here. Yeah. Quick moto, try getting help as an American working class male. Good luck. Oh, I can tell you, being a teenage dad, white, hardworking, since I was a sophomore or junior in high school, there was no benefit for me or my daughter, when it comes to these programs that provide college for her or anything, right? Yeah, try getting help as an American working class male. Yeah, exactly. How about we send them all back and they keep their food stamps for 1 year? New York City should be ashamed. Plain and simple, taxpayers aren't paying to financially support Democrat voters. Shut it down. Yeah, that's the thing too. These people just vote. And that's the thing that my pastor mentioned in this last sermon. He's like, you can't just, men are supposed to work. God gave. He's talking about Adam and Eve in the garden in the beginning. He said God gave men work. He didn't design us to sit around and vote for people that are going to give us stuff for free. But yeah, that's insane. 40% more from the government funding SNAP program than low-income Americans in New York City. And it's going to get worse when they elect Mondami. Can't believe that. I mean, these people, all these migrants probably got to vote. It's crazy. But work is a lot of work, Tyler. I know. He didn't say we're supposed to enjoy every minute of it. I can send that to you if you want. It's actually a good message. It's a part of I'm drawing a blank on what the series is called. Let me see here actually real quick. I just bought the book too on Audible. I don't do books that often, but sometimes do. Standing firm and acting like men. Stand firm and act like men. So he released a book and then he's doing this like 6 or 7 weeks on it. But work is a lot of work. but. Quick moto, I just went through an injury and amputation, put me out for 4 years, wiped me out. They didn't give me shit. Oh, they didn't give a shit, even though I've paid in for 30 years. Yeah, dude, that's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. People can come over here. They don't have anything, any history of paying a cent of tax dollars into our system. They don't have one drop of sweat put into building our infrastructure or anything like that, working in our country, and they come over and they get prepaid debit cards. They get all this crap that's just handed to them in a gift basket, and it's at our expense. And then whenever we need something from it, it's just not there for us. Nope, you make too much money. Well, it's because I'm trying. I'm still falling upon hard times, and I have a lot of bills, and it's not easy to live in this country with everything being so expensive. And I'm supposed to maintain my credit rating, otherwise everything falls apart. But yet here I am living off of credit cards, paying hundreds of dollars a month in interest to the credit cards, and you guys can't give me any assistance. You guys can't help me out. I'm just apply for the next credit card and transfer a balance over for 0 interest and get into that freaking whole thing. Oh man. Welcome to the life of somebody that's trying in America, but just hasn't figured out how to get rich, right? TNT says a hard day's work keeps me sane. I get depressed if I don't. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that's true too, TNT. How can you compete with the people the government pays the bills for? These people are willing to work for less if they work. Yeah, 100%. You can't compete with it. And you know, I've said this before, but I haven't said in a long time. Look, if you're born in this country, you got to wait 18 years at the shortest. Like, you might turn 18 1 year into a presidency, so you might not be able to vote the first time of your life until you're 21. Just the way that, you know, depending on the way the 4 years work, right, when it falls. And well, at least vote in a presidential election. And I would say, we'll call it 8 years old, right? When you're 8 years old, you finally start kind of paying attention and learning about the world around you. So you got from 8 to 18 or 8 to 21, you're talking 10 to 13 years of time invested learning about the culture and learning about the country that you live in, that you're going to work in, before you can vote. Yet these people can come over here, be over 18, not even having a license in a lot of states, and cast a vote. They have no history in this country. I mean, it should be a massive part of voting that you can prove you've been in this country for at least 10 years before you can vote in any of our elections. You have to be a part of our community before you can vote for 10 years. At least, maybe 13 years, like I said. We'll call it 10 years because that 3-year thing might apply to them as well when it comes to the 4 years turnover on the elections, right, for a presidential election. That's common sense to me, right? Like, how can you come over here and immediately start receiving Social Security, SNAP, able to vote, and have no investment in this country? Time investment. No sweat, no blood, no tears, nothing. If they don't want us to own a car, but a foreigner is driving a Benzo, gets everything. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't that be nice? Earl's daughter says 2 Thessalonians 3:10, for even when we were with you, we gave you this rule. The one who is willing to work shall not eat. The one who is unwilling to work, the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. Well, the way that my pastor just explained it in this last sermon was there's a special place in hell for people that don't work. There's a basement to hell for people that don't work. You know, we should be working. We should be working. I hope the work that I do is enough. Hope work doesn't mean you got to make a bunch of money. That's not what it is for me. Yeah, you don't need a gym membership. You need to work your ass off. Old man strength. Build up old man strength. No soup for you. Yeah, that's why there's no competition to old man strength, Wikimoto. There's just, you know, the grip that comes from laying bricks your whole life or operating heavy machinery or whatever. Earl's daughter agreed the first commandment God gave Adam was to be fruitful and multiply. That requires work. Yeah. Yeah, I want to send you this sermon, Earl's daughter. It's incredible, actually. And I've said this before, but this dude, he comes up with his plan for the year, like over a year ahead of time. And some of this stuff that he's been preaching about lately is just so spot on for the time, for the day. It's amazing. Maybe it's just resonating with me more than it does other folks. But when I read the comments on these videos, it's just like, it seems like it's hitting everybody the same way. So let's see here. So if 80% of the people, 40% lazy parents, and 40% of their kids didn't rip off SNAP, the people who would need it would have plenty. And bonus, prices would drop for the rest of us, both at stores and taxes. You cut 80 pounds in 10 months just getting back to work. Dang. That's awesome. It's impressive. So 42 million people are on SNAP. 70% of SNAP recipients are overweight or obese. Only 4.2 million or 10% are disabled, and 44% of those disabilities are due to obesity or obesity-related illness. Crazy. Think about that. 4.2 million or 10% are disabled, right? And 44% of those, the disabilities are due to obesity. So like they're disabled because they're fat, but they're fat because they're disabled. Wait, or something like that. They're disabled because they're fat, not the other part. But they're fat because they're getting this crap like fed to them. 3.9 million SNAP recipients are the children of illegal aliens. 1.5 million are refugees or asylees from other countries. Crazy. Yeah, I'll send it to you, Earl's daughter. He actually just put out week 2 of the series on Sunday, and it's equally as good. It might even be better. So let's see here. Okay, so this is the people screaming "No Kings" are now suddenly crying for the government to save them. We got a couple of videos of folks calling out the hypocrisy. I thought this was a good one. I watched like the first half of it, but when I was putting the show together. Make sure I don't blast the speakers. And quote, the SNAP benefit situation clearly shows that y'all could not survive a world built off natural selection. Boom, what a roast. It's so true. The people screaming "No Kings" are now suddenly crying for the government to save them. The EBT community is coming in contact with something they never have had: accountability.
I don't want to sound like I'm overthinking it because I know a lot of y'all can't keep up, but this SNAP benefit situation clearly shows y'all could not survive a world built off natural selection. If the government really stood back, if they just let everything go and let the world be who they want to be without them, y'all would not survive. Let's say they just only protected us from invasion of other countries, but you have to do everything else yourself. Y'all would not survive the natural selection. You couldn't get your own food. You couldn't keep your own crib. You couldn't educate your own kids. Y'all would literally not survive a world of natural selection. Y'all response to the SNAP benefits is don't celebrate the holiday. Keep your money. Everyone's going to be affected because food prices going to go up. Yeah, but this is natural selection. This is how the world moves. Without the government, right? What y'all going to do when all those wolves start attacking the sheep? You either going to turn into a wolf yourself, you going to follow behind them like a fox, or you going to be slaughtered. That's how natural selection works. And there's one issue with just benefits. It's showing y'all that y'all are biting the hand that feeds you. A lot of y'all are against the government. You constantly protesting. You constantly talking about them. But then you turn to the same internet where you're bashing them and you're trying to hold them accountable to continue to feed you and put food on your table. They don't have to do that. This is them showing you we don't have to do a lot of the things we do. But they understand the benefits of who they are. And a lot of people take it for granted. You can't be biting the hand that feeds you and then turning around and talking shit about the person who that hand belonged to. It don't make any sense. Y'all have to pick a new battle. Pick a new fight.
Go get a job. They can't change their own tire or deal with spiders. They're screwed. That's true, man. Just think about that. Their tire breaks down. Their tire pops on the side of the road, and they just abandon the car. They don't even know how to call a tow truck. You got another one of those. Let's see here. Black American reveals what no SNAP food stamp payments really means. Many people expose this is what EBT is really spent on, subsidizing their lifestyles. This is just a 15-second clip here.
So there go a lot of y'all hair money, eyelash money, nail money, makeup money, alcohol money, club money, everything money. Now you gotta feed them kids with that money. So there go a lot.
Right. And so what they do is they eat off of everything that, you know, we work and we spend most of our money on our groceries and gas getting back and forth to work. And they don't got to worry about that. They don't got to buy gas to go back and forth to work. They, their meals come for free. So anything that they do earn and what's left over, they get their nails done, their hair done. You know, like we read earlier, that post from that lady that's saying, you know, I have 5 kids. Y'all are stupid for not exploiting this. You know, I got to figure it out. I got 5 kids. I don't worry about where my bills are getting paid from. I have 5 bags. That's 5 kids. Oh, crazy. Crazy. So this is even funnier. EBT food stamp recipients in New York have come out to protest changes to the SNAP program. They say they don't have time to work or volunteer 20 hours per week, yet they're able-bodied enough to protest and have time to protest, which is, you know, that's kind of one of the issues with the right versus left. Is the left, they're subsidized. They don't have to go to work. They have time to go protest. They have time to go and be the squeaky wheel that gets the grease. Whereas hardworking facts that are paying these other people's bills essentially don't got the time, they don't got the strength, they don't got the energy. And it's gotten so bad that we can't even work and have the wife at home to raise the kids. We need the wife to work too. So everybody's tired. Everybody's out of the loop. Right? So here, we're going to play this. This is 2.5 minutes.
Every family, every meal. Food is justice. Food is real.
Demonstrators rally on the Lower East Side in protest of forthcoming federal changes for those receiving government assistance to buy food. As part of the president's Big Beautiful Bill, Americans in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, will now...
I saw that too, TNT. That's a while back. I seen a leftist on fire and another leftist threw a bicycle at him to put it out. They're useless. YouTube didn't like this though. That's so true. I remember that video. Dude catches on fire in like a protest or something and somebody literally threw a bicycle at him. Oh, man.
Now have to prove they are working, volunteering, or enrolled in an education program for at least 80 hours a month, or risk losing their food stamps or SNAP benefits altogether. 34-year-old Anthony Pearson, among those who are concerned.
How can I work 80 hours if I have children? I have to pick up my children from school, and I have to take my kids to school. How am I going to work that many hours? It doesn't make sense.
Molly Wasso Park, Commissioner
No, it doesn't make sense that we do that so that we can pay for your ass.
For the New York City Department of Social Services, is calling the change problematic.
So for somebody who's working a shift job, somebody who's working in the gig economy, that can be very, very challenging. A home health aide, for example, whose client goes into the hospital and so doesn't work for a week, that could impact her ability to receive SNAP for the month.
Park and other social services officials also have their backs against the wall to get the word out. The changes go into effect November 2nd.
They gave us 30 days to put these new requirements into place. So it's very challenging for the agency, and it's going to be very challenging for recipients as well.
I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of.
But not everyone agrees.
It's a $200 billion cut nationally to SNAP. And SNAP is really a lifeline for so many families.
Elizabeth McCarthy is president and CEO of the Community Food Bank of Central New Jersey, one of the many tri-state food pantries helping families that are facing food insecurity.
I think people have this misnomer that people on SNAP aren't working. About 82% of people on SNAP are working already. but having to prove that and show the documentation is very challenging to some people who may not have a computer, may only be doing things on their phone, to be able to upload documentation to prove that they've worked 20 hours every week.
The new proof of work requirement applies to SNAP recipients 18 to 64 and now includes the homeless, veterans, those aging out of foster care, and parents with children 14 and older.
We currently serve over 90 million meals every year. We're sort of expecting that number will go up.
Exemptions include anyone on disability, and SNAP recipients are being urged to contact their benefits coordinator for further guidance.
Dude, how am I supposed to work 80 hours a week and take care of my kids? Welcome to America, asshole. Quit voting for Democrats and it might not be as bad as it is. I found this video. Let's see. I think I can show it. But what TNT was talking about here. This is them, right? This guy's on fire. I think he caught on fire because he was trying to I can't remember exactly what it was that caught him on fire, but just watch this genius. I hope you saw that. I'm not going to play it again. But seriously, what are we doing here? First off, stop, drop, and roll. They taught us that in grade school. Second of all, bicycles are not a fire extinguisher. This is a learning lesson for any Democrats watching the show right now. Bicycles do not put out fires. Thank you, drive through. Okay, so he tried to Molotov something. Okay. Oh my goodness. What up, Papa Smurf? Earl's daughter says the heartbreaking. What? All right, sorry about that. Well, I was just saying, I remember that. I think it was at a college campus. I don't remember where it was, but Earl's daughter says that's the heartbreaking part about the problem the government has caused. If the shit hit the fan, the only thing these government adult babies would do is still kill or destroy. Right. Yeah. That's why we got to do our best to defend ourselves. You know? Got to do the best to defend ourselves. So here's interesting. 25 proven SNAP/EBT scams plus fraud, right? We'll go through these real quick. Well, let's play this video. This is accompanied to a video that has a minute and 10 seconds. Don't stop talking about this because it's not okay. Here's the top 5 ethnicities receiving SNAP benefits, food stamps: Afghan, Somali, Iraq, Dominican, Caribbean. It's a little bit mind-blowing how much the benefits, how much of benefits for Americans don't go to them. Mind-blowing how much of benefits for Americans don't go to them. What are we doing in this country? Okay, so we get the gist. We'll go through these 25 proven SNAP EBT scams plus fraud. So trafficking for cash, recipients swap benefits for discounted cash at stores, used for ineligible items like alcohol and tobacco. E.g., Baltimore stores netted $16 million illegally. And that's kind of the scenario that I was talking about earlier, where, they're like, oh, I'll pay $100 for your groceries on my EBT card. You give me some cash. That way I can get, other things with this money. And they'll even do it like, oh, you give me $50, I'll pay for $100. Because, right, it's not their money. You know, like, look at how people treat things that were bought for them versus how people treat things that they bought with their own hard-earned money. It's pretty prolific, right? You see that this person, cell phone or whatever, has lasted and never cracked the screen. Now, accidents do happen, right? And then this other person goes through cell phones all the time that their mama buys for them, right? It's not their own hard-earned money that they're using to buy these cell phones. You know, just for an example. And it goes across to everything, laptops, just whatever. Like, look at how people treat the items that are given to them versus how people treat the items that they spend their hard-earned money on. And it's prolific. It's it's amazing. So when they get this, you know, I got $100 on this card, I'll swipe your groceries for $100 and you give me 50. That's nothing to them, right? It's a net 50. It's a plus $50 for them, so they can go buy alcohol, tobacco, or whatever. Especially if you're getting them cash, it might be something else. So number 2, retailer collusion for the ineligible buys. Stores miscode EBT for alcohol, cigarettes, e.g. Louisiana owner disqualified for direct swaps. Oh, so they'll put like the wrong code on items so that they can sell those items. Interesting. Yeah, sells food stamps, buys a phone, you know, buys Gucci purse, whatever, right? Gets the nails done. 3, selling EBT details online. Post/sell card info on the dark web for fraudulent use/resell USDA notes, rising stolen credential cases. Reselling EBT purchased food, buy items with benefits, sell for cash. E.g. New York worker resold $1.8 billion in energy drinks. Did I say billion? I meant to say million. $1.8 million in energy drinks. Wow. So dude just using his EBT on energy drinks and then reselling it. How much EBT that guy get in the first place? That's crazy. So card skimming, installed devices to clone EBT data, drained for cash. The GAO reports billions lost nationwide. There's phishing scams, fake USDA calls to steal details, empty accounts for USDA alerts, common vector. Okay. Yep. That's like just like anything. Phishing scams, multi-state claims, applying multiple states for extra benefits to trade leads to overpayments per audits. Right. So applying multiple states if you live near the border, or if it's online, don't even have to live on a border. Papa Smurf said he knows a store that was accepting to buy beer. See, that's messed up. That is messed up. And they know how to do it. They know how to fudge it. They're just like, you use it for this, we'll say that we sold that. Where'd I leave off? So false applications lie on income household to overqualified traffic excess, e.g. Vermont woman hid job for $12K probation. Right. And the other thing about the false applications is, you know, when it comes to these illegals, the migrants, that we don't even know if they are who they say they are in the first place. And, you know, they go here and apply for Jose and go there and apply as Juan. Like the same person using multiple identities, essentially. So false applications, and, you know, if they're in New York, you're just getting a $5,000 prepaid debit card in the process for each one without requirement of ID. I remember covering that when it was hitting this you know, the news in the first place. And I remember thinking, these people could get 15 different debit cards that are prepaid and not have to prove who they are. Like, that's crazy. What would stop a person? If you're doing it once, why not do it 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 times? Make it a part of your daily routine. Go down there, say you're this person, that you don't have to prove who you are. They give you a card. Prepaid. It's in your pocket. Crazy. Insider terminal misuse. USDA staff sell access for fake stores, e.g. New York scheme with worker enabling $36 million in fraud. Interesting. So just individuals doing it. Return scams, buy with EBT, return stands receipt for cash. E.g., California homeless loop to $292 a month per card. Okay, so I get that. I remember back when I was a kid, people would steal batteries and then take them back and get the cash and say, oh, I bought the wrong size. People still do that? Yeah, they could put it in their unborn child's name, or, not even exist, like not even unborn, just this is my kid, and not even prove the kid existed. Let's see here. Number 11, cross-border resell, buy food, resell abroad for cash. Texas thieves resold 1.2 million in Mexico. Some of these numbers are crazy. Just straight fraud out of the system, taking advantage of loopholes and just breaking laws blatantly. Hoarding, trading balances, build high card balances, 20K, trade portions, audits found 1,337 cases, over $2,300. Post-death scams, relatives drained deceased benefits, GAO found 36 cases paid over a year after death. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Somebody dies and you don't report it, or you pay somebody to not report it, still get them, buried and everything, but 36 cases paid for over a year after the death. I mean, when I think about the USAID, when they were making their cuts, they were reporting that some people were on benefits at like the age of 190 years old. Right? Wasn't there like 4 people that were over 190 years old still getting benefits? Of course, the Democrats scream from the rooftop, they're cutting off people's benefits. It's like, yeah, these people are long gone. Oh, that's crazy. Store cash swaps, discount cash for EBT swipes, often for cigarettes, alcohol. Connecticut store fined $150,000 in 2020. Number 15, employees miscoding, scan food, but give prohibited items. Ohio owner convicted of $100,000 in alcohol cigarette swaps. Multiple cards via fakes. Use bogus social security numbers for extra cards, trade value. Individuals held 10 plus cards for $3,000 a month. Yeah. Organized beverage rings, buy sodas, drinks with EBT, dump, resell cans, or trade for drugs, e.g., example given, Ohio scam with bulk candy energy drinks over $3,000 a visit. Goodness. Recipient bartering, swap EBT value for cash goods and networks common in Pennsylvania per OSIG reports. Number 19, there's a lot of these things. It's kind of getting monotonous, but dang, like store falsified records, hide ineligible cells in books, leads to USDA sanctions per North Carolina cases. Number 20 is rapid draining transactions. Multiple quick buys to empty cards, resell. 6 purchases in an hour for $1,555. Trading for drugs, exchange benefits for controlled substances, use remnants for ineligible items, 24-month bans possible. Fake store networks set up unauthorized vendors for cash processing. Fresno Bakery charged with $5 million in illegal transactions. Number 23, produce return loops, buy cheap items like lemons. Return reportedly for cash, workaround for tobacco, alcohol per store reports. Yeah, you get store credit. Cashier trick for non-food, swipe for food, give cigarettes instead. Yeah, that's like, family members working at the grocery store or whatever. And just, I mean, that should be a straight up fraud. I think for it to be a felony, it's got to be $1,000, but that stuff should add up. But of course, in Democrat ran cities and states, it's just going to be a slap on the wrist, and they're not going to mark it down as a felony. It'll go down as a misdemeanor, minor offense, if anything, because it's racist to hold people accountable. Draining deceased cards, relatives use post-death benefits for cash ineligible buys. Kentucky woman jailed for $18,000 falsified claim. I feel like some of those claims or reports kind of doubled up, but still, we get the gist. There's plenty of ways to work around the SNAP benefit and get the things that it's not designed to help people with. So we saw this earlier, but we didn't watch it. Newsmax host Rob Finnerty just said what no one in the mainstream media will about SNAP. He tore the mask off the entire food stamps program, and what he revealed will infuriate taxpayers. It's far worse than anyone realized. Okay, well, let's find out what he has to say.
There are 42 million people in this country that need food stamps on a weekly basis. And we're saying people deliberately instead of Americans, because most of the people that are on food stamps aren't even from this country. 45% of Afghanistan immigrants are on food stamps, 42% of Somali immigrants, 34% of every immigrant from Iraq, 23% of Haitians, 59% of all illegal aliens are collecting food stamps, meaning that most of the people getting food stamps from the U.S. government and the U.S. taxpayer are not even Americans. Think about that. And we didn't know about any of this before the government shutdown started, but thanks to Democrats, we can confirm tonight that millions of Joe Biden illegal aliens, people who crossed the border when Joe was president, are now collecting food stamps from a program funded by hardworking American taxpayers.
Is that a 4D chess move by the Republicans or Donald Trump? They like to say that he plays 4D chess. Like he just said, Americans didn't know about this until the Democrats shut down the government. Now, I really don't think it's a 4D chess move, but it comes out on the other end looking like that, right? Because this is just the Democrats getting cut by the double-edged sword. In reality, right? Because they're the ones that are voting to close the government. The Republicans are voting to keep it open. Now, if the Republicans were voting to close it, then you might be able to make that argument that, yeah, look what's being exposed now. But in work says Democrats taking food from Americans' mouth all this time. Yeah. Taking food, taking health benefits, stealing elections. I mean, if they weren't able to cheat and buy these voters and import the voters at the rate they would, that they do, and then on top of that, gerrymander the districts, literally draw a circle around a black neighborhood, connect it to the other black neighborhood, connect it to the other black neighborhood, and call that a district and get extra representatives in, the Senate and the House, Democrats would never win an election again. They would never have a majority again. They wouldn't have for years had we caught on to this stuff prior to this. It's a shame that it's taken so long, but yeah, that's all they do is they do whatever they can to benefit their party, and they don't value the hardworking Americans. We're the people that they take advantage of the most. They think we're stupid, apparently, because people keep voting for them. So I got this right here: how the news media shows food stamps versus how they actually spend food stamps. And so you see how the news media, you're showing the fruit aisle, but really the groceries, the cart is full of Doritos, cookies, crackers, processed crazy foods where, if you voted for Trump for the Maha Initiative, if you came over from the Democrats or whatever with RFK Jr., and you're like, yeah, this is the thing for me. This should be a huge concern. This should be an important topic to you, right? We need to expose this SNAP program and what they're allowing people to buy and what it does to the health of Americans, right? So Fetterman came out and says Americans are not only, Americans are not any party's leverage. Now, keep in mind, he already posted something similar to this last week, and then that very same day went out and voted with the Democrats to continue to close the government. So, actions speak louder than words, but he is saying some of the right stuff. I'm not sure what his motive or intentions are, but last check, which I used AI to check, that Fetterman has not crossed the line and voted with Republicans here to reopen the government. He might be the first one that does, but he hasn't yet, although he's making statements like this. Americans are not any party's leverage. Open our government to feed 42 million people on SNAP, pay the military plus our workers, and pay the Capitol Police. We can find a bipartisan way forward for ACA tax credits. So he included this image, the 5 longest government shutdowns in history, what happened, how they ended. I'm not going to look into that. People went down here. Well said, Senator, but very much appreciated. Maybe you can find a bipartisan way to get us out of this, get people off SNAP. I mean, 42 million WTF. And that's the crazy part that stands out is seems like 42 million is the accepted number of people that are receiving these benefits. And we just went through some of the statistics that a lot of these people are actually able-bodied. A lot of these people are obese because of the SNAP system, I would argue. I mean, if you're getting your food from it and you're obese, like that's what's feeding you. He's still a leftist, but slightly more moderate than the rest, right? Republicrat. Girl's daughter says, my husband just reminded me of a protester in Portland that caught fire and a person hit him with a shield to put him out. Dumb and Dumber. I think I might remember that one too. It's like, first of all, if you catch on fire, stop, drop, and roll. If it's like your shirt, you might just try to take your shirt off. I don't know. I've never been on fire, but you know, remove the piece of clothing that's on fire. It might help. Might be a starter place, and then stop, drop, and roll. And if somebody around you is on fire, use a fire extinguisher or something. Cover them up. Do something. Don't throw a bike or hit them with the shield. It's just so crazy. So I got this post. It's a longer thread. The questionable gardener posted food stamps, hungry Americans, and corporate revenue losses. It's kind of written weird. But I want to point out just a few things about it. I don't want to read it through it because it's kind of a hard read. Honestly, I don't know if AI wrote this or what. But the USDA calculates SNAP benefit expenditures into several categories. The expiring budget for food stamps is $110.3 billion, and the snack food / junk food sector getting $23 billion in payouts. Right, so 23% of the $110 billion that go into SNAP go to snack / junk food. Put it out with bourbon. That was blocked by YouTube. Gosh, that's crazy, TNT. Wow. Taking flaming shirt off often leads to instant baldness because their hair. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never been in that scenario, but you'd think like I saw a video of a dude that was he caught his pants on fire and he like runs up to a house and like bangs on the door rather than going to the garden hose or rather than taking the pants off, which were like falling down already. I don't know. I just like kind of just thought like, maybe take it off. I don't know. But you're probably, your mind is going faster than ever, when that happens. Yeah, I'd rather be bald than burned. Or burned less, right? But the graph that he shows here is the top items purchased with food stamps. Number 1 is soft drinks. Number 2 is fluid milk. Number 3 is ground beef. Number 4 is bagged snacks. Number 5 is cheese, baked breads, cold cereal, fresh chicken, frozen handhelds and snacks, lunch meat. Now there's like 4 of those things that should probably be on there, right? Like milk, ground beef, fresh chicken, and we'll include cheese for the cheese lovers, which I'm not. And lunch meat. So that'd be what, 5? 5 of the 10. Then 11 is candy. Instant formula. Now it's weird because I thought a while back that they banned soda pop and all kinds of things from SNAP, but they must have put them back on there. But infant formula is number 12. Now, you'd think that'd be higher, but not everybody has babies. Unfortunately, it should be higher. More people should be having babies. But you think with that lady's I guess they don't always need infant formula, but with the lady's 5 kids, they'd be up there. But frozen pizza, refrigerated juices and drinks, ice cream, coffee and creamers, cookies, water, shelf-stable juice, eggs, muffins, and potatoes. So some of that stuff belongs on there. Ban cheese, you jump off the building. I like cheese on pizza and like with nachos, but if I have a choice between a hamburger or a cheeseburger, it's a hamburger 100% of the time. So bag chips, bag snacks, potato chips is the number 4 expense. The largest maker of both soda and bag snacks is PepsiCo. So PepsiCo, whose brand includes Gatorade, Lay's, Doritos, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, other things, Aquafina make an estimated 10 to 15 billion from the food stamps, with an annual reported revenue of 91.5 billion. So that's like, 10% of 91 billion, or 10 billion of 91 billion, that's over 10% of their income relies on SNAP. So like through our tax dollars, we're essentially feeding people junk food that goes back to these companies. It goes back, 10 to 15 billion dollars annually in junk food and soda pop. I think it said Aquafina, so include bottled water in there. The Quaker cereals, which we know with the Maha movement, there's a lot of these dyes that are in these cereals that are not healthy for us. Earl's daughter, that's a perfect point. Democrats and Republicans should be ashamed that 40 million are on assistance. Mismanagement is so evident. Right. It's Democrats. I would argue that it's probably Democrats throwing more money at a problem, and it's Republicans going, "Oh, slow down there, Democrats." But then they always have the few that compromise and vote with them and allow them to get away with taking another inch. TNT says, I'm okay with Gatorade being on food stamps. I get muscle cramps that Gatorade fixes. Nothing else does. Yeah, I think Gatorade would be fine on there. It's not, it's not like a pop with 45 grams of sugar in it or whatever they have, right? Maybe it does have all that sugar, but I don't think so. Voice is going out. We see some of the brands here. The USDA estimates Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and several smaller producers combined for $60 billion in soda alone over the past decade. Pepsi and Coke are not the biggest losers. So really, I don't want to go through this whole thing. Like I said, it's pretty long, but I wanted to just point out that quick fact there that, well, actually a little bit more. Congress does not specify how much money it makes from SNAP EBT, and based on their business model, it is hard to make accurate estimates. Smuckers makes several peanut butter and jellies. So look, like when it comes to frozen meals and pre-packaged, like say the Crustables, right? Just make your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It's much cheaper. When it comes to making a pizza, just go buy some dough. It's much, much cheaper than buying a frozen pizza, and it's better, actually. Tastes better. It requires 10, 15 minutes, but like buying processed frozen foods, a lot of the stuff is actually more expensive buying it for the convenience, and it's less healthy. That's the other thing. People don't know how to cook nowadays. Yeah, that's terrifying. Think about who's running them. Yeah. Pizza is just an Italian quesadilla. I love me some pizza. But I get the frozen dough from the store. I can split it in two. I can make 2 pizzas out of one thing of dough. Get a jar of pizza sauce. It's like $1.20, $1.30 or something like that. I can get 4 pizzas out of it, maybe 3 pizzas out of it. Go buy some like a ham. Go buy a green pepper. Get a thing of a jar of diced up garlic. I mean, that garlic will last forever. Throw all that stuff on a pizza, you have a delicious pizza. Even throw some jalapenos on there. Grow a jalapeno plant. They're like one of the easiest ones to grow. Cut those things off, throw them on there. Fire pizzas. Much, much better than any frozen pizza. And it just takes a little bit of time. And once you might mess with the dough, might be a pain in the butt. Well, you'll figure it out. Figure it out. Nicole and I used to post parties where everyone would make their own personal pizzas and would barbecue them up. Good times. Dough is easy as hell to make. Yeah, and that's even, yeah, you can even make the dough for cheaper. I've never even tried it, but yeah, that's a even better point. If you make your own dough, you can make a pizza for like $2, maybe less than that, and have like multiple toppings on it. Put it all in a bowl and call it a salad. It's actually what I'm having for dinner. I'm gonna go grill up some. Well, it's 9:30. I'm gonna grill up some chicken and throw it in a salad. I always, when I make them, they remind me of that Real Men of Genius. Do you guys remember the Real Men of Genius? I think they were Budweiser commercials or Bud Light commercials back in the day. And there was the Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor one. It's like, at one point he goes, "Of course it's healthy. It's a salad, isn't it?" That always cracked me up. Those were awesome commercials. Yeah. Only you can make a 1,200 calorie salad and whatever. So good. But yeah. Is it healthy? Of course it is. It's a salad, isn't it? So good. So yeah, I didn't need to go through that whole thread. I just wanted to point out a few things there, that it's crazy how much of the SNAP benefits actually go to junk food. Just reiterating the fact that these people are obese that are on it. And if you're not obese yet, it's going to make you obese. 2 pounds of bacon and 1 scrap of lettuce is technically a salad. Yeah, for sure. Earl's daughter says, "Sorry to duck out on y'all, but it's been a long day. Good night and sweet dreams, beautiful people." And good night, Earl's daughter. I'll send you those. I'll send you those 2 sermons, last week's and this week's. You should definitely check them out. They're about 45 minutes a piece. With they cut the music out and stuff, so it's about 45 minutes, 50 minutes a piece. But they're worth checking out for sure. I'll send them to you on X. But yeah, I'm gonna do this one more topic. I'm gonna save the rest for tomorrow. Hopefully, my voice doesn't go out. Yeah, bacon is fire. I like Italian dressing on mine, on my salads. Just a cheap Italian dressing. Yeah, no problem, Earl's daughter. Thanks for being here. So I think what I have left here is just this one. Okay, yeah. Just one last topic here. So Walmart, due to high risk of riots, protesters, and being robbed over SNAP benefits, some Walmarts, not all, will be closed on to the public November 1st to January 1st. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed, but there's multiple reports. They'll be available for online orders, pickups, and delivery only. Now, I thought I saved one with the comments, but this one right here: community leaders in Chicago blame Walmart for the 4 store closings this coming Sunday. So, of course, Chicago leaders, community leaders, whatever, they're going to not blame the criminals. They're going to blame the stores.
Community activists are calling on Walmart to stop its plans to close 4 stores this coming.
You guys need to stay open and let us loot you. People are going to go hungry.
Sunday, they say Walmart's surprise decision is an act of disrespect.
It's disrespectful to protect their bottom line. You know what happens when people steal from stores? Prices go up, and people like you and I who buy the stuff and not steal it got to pay more. So they're not robbing from us one way, they're robbing from us from another.
Walmart said these stores are closing because they've never made any money. Well, how come Jewel and other agencies stay in our communities and they make money?
Maybe they should flee your community. Maybe you just not have a Walmart. It's not like you have to have Walmart.
They talk about theft. Please, Walmart, stop using that stereotype.
Stereotype?
And the stores slated to close are in Kenwood, Lakeview, Little Village, and the Chatham Supercenter with a health center and academy at
Damn
84th and Stewart.
Since Walmart announced these closures, my office, which is located literally steps from this building, has been inundated with calls from seniors who are crying out saying, where do I go for my medicine? For mothers who are talking about their children and saying, how do I feed my children?
Should have thought about that before you elected the Democrats.
And earlier this week, Walmart said the move will help the 4 remaining Chicago stores, and the affected employees would be able to work at other locations. Activists are calling for a nationwide boycott of Walmart.
A nationwide boycott of Walmart because they're closing the stores. These people don't get it. Walmart could just pack up and leave your community. Just like a lot of the insurance companies did with California, said, we're not going to do business. It's not profitable for us. They forget that companies are in business to make money. If they don't make money, they can't hire people. And then people's lives are destroyed. Crazy, crazy. And then I got this last little final thing. Then we'll do the verse of the day and get out of here. So this is the Chicago mayor. Walmart is closing 4 of their stores locations in Chicago. Gee, I wonder why. Here's Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson defending looters and attacking corporations.
Loot because that's how they can eat?
The real answer is, how do we make sure, the question is, how do we make sure that people can eat? Look, no one is going to condone, behavior that quite frankly speaks to a level of desperation.
So you're not condoning looting?
I'm saying that people are acting out of desperation. We don't want a society that is acting out of desperation, but you have to pay attention to the cries that people have.
So you're not condoning looting?
There's no way to embrace that. What I'm saying is, you can't condone the looting that corporations continue to do every single day when they take tax dollars from black, brown, white folks all over the city of Chicago so that they can turn a profit.
Loot because that's how they can eat?
Really, dude? So many times when these people are asked a yes or no question, they can very simply answer it with a yes or no. They give you a bunch of bull crap like this guy just did. I don't know how that guy won an election. Well, I guess I do. I have a pretty good guess. But wow. Wow. Yeah, this mofo can never just answer the question like a human being. Well, it's because he's complicit. He knows the answer, but he knows that if he answers the way that he should, it's not good for him. How am I going to call the people that elected me looters and criminals? Even though they are. Self-preservation. It's a low-life scumbag tactic. Yeah, right. As he added white people at the very end. I thought the same thing. LOL, like he's ever once worried about white folks in Chicago. Oh, stupid. We see through you. Oh, Brandon Johnson. So, anyways, with that, you guys, yeah, I'm shocked he didn't cry racism. Yeah, exactly. The racist Walmart. Exactly, dude. Exactly. So we're going to wrap up here with the verse of the day from the YouVersion Bible app. NIV translation is 2 Corinthians 4:18. And it goes, so we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. I'm sure he did later in the interview. So yeah, with that, you guys, I appreciate everybody for being here. I think I forgot the entire show to make sure to ask you guys to hit that like button. If you haven't, go ahead and do that. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Double check that if you are subscribed, you're still subscribed. And with that, follow. Also up on Rumble. With that, I'll let you guys know that I've been going live on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, all on YouTube, Rumble, and X. So find me on your favorite platform. I appreciate everybody for spending the last few hours with me tonight, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Fire in the jar, yeah, the fuse is TNT. Blowing up the lies, bringing truth to the street. JB storms rolling, thunder in the sky. The captain steers steady, keeping freedom alive. It's the Joe Manos podcast. Turn it up loud, the signal's gonna last. Is it just me, or are we putting it on blast? From shadows to spotlight, we're calling the play name by name, but we're louder this way. King is here now, so we can start the show. If you're short on dirty money, put it on Jamie's tab. Go when a troll slips in the chat. We ask Steve, is that you? Don't spam the chat, or Chris will give you the boot. It's the Shutdown podcast. Turn it up loud, the signal's gonna last. Is it just me, or are we putting it on blast? From shadows to spotlight, we're calling the play name by name, but we're louder this way. Earl's daughter speaks the truth, Bill shows no fear. We give up the crown when Andrea gets here. Elmo did it for a Klondike bar, now everybody knows his name. Cool big laughing Ricky sparks a flame, Ruth lights the candle steady. Nate fans embers bright, Dan McKnight holds the line. Tyler calls the game tonight.